Cue. In yesterday's video, I covered the 4 sections of the habit loop: cue, craving, response, reward. And hopefully from that you've remembered what those are. Because again, if you don't, nothing's going to happen with this, I promise you. So in today's video, I'm going to cover cue, the thing that happens that creates that chain of events, that series of thoughts that leads to us behaving in a certain way. And only really by getting clear on what that cue looks like for an existing habit do we stand a reasonable chance of changing it. And by having a definite cue for the other thing that we want to be doing more of, do we stand a good chance of doing that? So cue is, again, what happens the very first step almost. So it might be that it's a certain time of day. It's 7 a.m, 10 a.m, 5 p.m. We do a certain thing at that time, maybe on a certain day. It's maybe we're in a certain location. So we arrive in the bathroom first thing having woken up. We get to work, we leave work, we sit down on the sofa, we open the fridge. We're in a particular place, and that causes, again, that sequence of thoughts, that chain of events. It might be that it's the actions or behaviours of someone else. Someone says something, does something. Again, it leads to that sequence. It might be something we've heard. It might be a smell. It might be that we've just completed a previous action. So we do something and then we do another thing immediately afterwards because we've got that habit of doing that. It creates that chain of thoughts in our head. It might be that we feel a certain way. So we're feeling down or sad or happy or frustrated, and again it leads to that chain of events. It might be that we see something. It can be anything. So what I want you to do is, for the habit that you're looking to change, get clear on what that cue is. What's that very first step? Is it that you see something, you're in a certain place, it's a certain time of day, you're feeling a certain way, someone else has done a particular thing? And how can we then make that thing more hidden? How can we be less exposed to that cue? How can we maybe not see that thing? Could we not have it in the house? How can we maybe not feel that way so much? Could we take a step back, and rather than trying to force ourselves not to eat that thing when we're already feeling a bit down, could we look at what we could do to make ourselves not feel down quite so much? Easier said than done, but everything's easier said than done. Could it be that we ask certain people not to say certain things or to do certain things at certain times? Again, leads to that habit. How can we make that cue more hidden? And for the thing we're wanting to do more of and to create a regular habit with, how can we make it so that cue is obvious? What I really don't want is for you to attempt a new habit and it just relies on remembering to do it, and then in a few weeks you realise it didn't cross your mind. Could it be we set a habit intention that when X happens, I will Y? So when I get to work, I will fill up my water bottle and put it on my desk. When I leave work, I will go straight for a workout. When I finish my meal, I will immediately put any extra in the fridge. When I sit down in front of the TV, I will only eat something that's on a plate. When I open the fridge, I'll get out what I need and not spend time staring at it. Can we not have things in place? Can we not have stuff in the freezer or the fridge quite so much so we're not exposed to them as often? We can still go and get them, sure, but the fact that we're seeing them less often and being reminded of their existence and creating that chain of events and thoughts in our head means we're probably less likely to do it. So get clear on what the cue looks like. What is the first step of the thing we're currently doing that we want to do less of, and how can we make that somewhat more hidden? If we're exposed to that cue 25% less than we are now, we're probably going to do that thing 25% less. If we also combine that with some adjustments to the craving, reward and response, it'll be even more so. With the thing that we're wanting to do more of, what is a really clear cue? When X happens, I will Y. I get to a certain place, I feel a certain way, something happens, a certain time of day. When is the thing we're going to occur? Not just a time of day, but at what cue will we then do that thing? So guys, that's it for today's video. Please do something with this. Please don't just smile and nod, because if we just say, oh, that sounds great, John, and then do nothing with it, this will go exactly the same as previous attempts. Actually get clear on what the cue looks like for the thing you're wanting to change or the thing you're wanting to do more of, and make that hidden or obvious.